Yesterday on Transformer Tuesday, we had a lot of listings that we talked about, but we have even more today on what I could pretty much just call a WTF Wednesday. Man, oh man, do we have a lot of Transformer listings to cover today, as well as our very first look of some Transformers Legacy United product. So stay tuned here today on the Transformer Slag podcast, and we're going to break down everything for you. The first thing we're going to cover is our very first look of a Transformers Legacy United Core Class figure found the good old-fashioned way in retail for the very first time. Seems a retailer in Colombia, of all places, put out some early product of packaged Transformers Legacy United stuff, and we got our very first look today of the Core Class Beast Machines Cheetor. We knew about this coming because we had the listings for the longest time online, but now we get our very first look of this in package, loose, and everything like that. Looks pretty good. I mean, it was a pretty simple design to begin with. I mean, if you mess with the Giant Supreme class or even the McDonald's one, they all kind of transform the same because it was pretty much Cheetor stands up, flips his head out, and you're good to go. And so they pretty much maintain that in a nice little core class figure. And comes with two little swords, and it looks like the two little swords could actually combine to make his like glider mode that he had in the show when he would combine his two swords and just float along. So pretty cool. I dig it. I mean, it is what it is. It's a small little core class Cheetor, and Cheetor is always a good selling character, and I like that it's also able to attach the swords in his alt mode, on his cheetah mode, on his arms. So everything there is maintained nicely, and it looks good. The question is now, what about the repaints? Are we going to get Night Slash Cheetor? Oh, are we going to get Cat Scan? That'd be really cool if we get Cat Scan. But yeah, pretty cool. So we got our very first look at that. Probably more to come. Stay tuned for that. From Colombia. Pretty cool. But now let's talk about these listings. We have literally a slew of 2025 Studio Series listings for Transformers. A ton of stuff to go through. We're going to break it all down and make sense of it. And just enjoy. So we're going to start first with the package refresh stuff. We're going to start with that first. Some reissues of old Studio Series product that will be available in 2025. We got a Tra-Gen Studio Series Deluxe 86 Jazz package refresh. This one, you know what? It's been one of the items that if you look at it in the secondary market, it doesn't go for much more than its original retail MSRP. But it has been almost 4 years since that original Jazz came off and kind of kicked off the Studio Series 86 line. Imagine it's already been 4 years. So maybe it's just for some people that didn't get him during then. It's almost been a half decade since that Jazz came out. The only other explanation I could think of, it could be a trademark reason. I'd have to look into that because it would be coming out in 2025 and there might be a trademark that needs to be refreshed. So it is what it is. But hey, if you didn't get Jazz, you get another opportunity in 2025. And he's a key character and quite a good figure. So I'd definitely pick it up if you didn't get it already. We got a Tra-Gen Studio Series Deluxe 86 Perceptor package refresh. The Perceptor is a little more perplexing, because him in the aftermarket goes for even less than MSRP retail. He's plentiful out there. It's not like he's something that people are scalping or having a difficult time finding. And he came out 2 years ago, so it's not like it's been a long period of time either. I get a feeling it's probably no doubt the same like Jazz. It's probably just a trademark reason for 2025, and that's one way to cover it, unfortunately. Or fortunately, if you didn't get Perceptor. It's a good figure. I like the figure, just... interesting choice of one of the reissues. But the other ones we have here, the next three, people will be smiling ear to ear. Tra-Gen Studio Series Leader Class 86 Grimlock package refresh. The fandom rejoices. This is a package refresh that was desperately needed due to the secondary market being absolutely insane for him. The numbers are crazy. And this is a re-release that, along with that comic book version that we have coming soon, will no doubt soften the market, thank goodness. And probably no doubt will come out in time to like coincide with Swoop. So, now that Swoop is the last Dinobot, might as well put Grimlock out since he was the first one and give people an opportunity to pick up Grimlock along with Swoop if they didn't get it the first time around. So that's great. It's going to give people a affordable opportunity that isn't 3 digits to pick up a Grimlock. So that's fantastic. Another one, too, that's bananas, is the Tra-Gen Studio Series Leader Transformers 3, a.k.a. Dark of the Moon, Shockwave package refresh. Again, another secondary market figure that his numbers were crazy. Absolutely crazy. Loose ones were going for crazy numbers. And, he came out at a time, like that figure came out like late 2019 and then really started to hit retail right when the big V came and shut down everywhere. So his population reports were kind of low, and people who did get him kind of just sat on it, and the market just went crazy. And, well, now people are going to get an opportunity to get Shockwave and once again not have to pay 3 digits to get a Dark of the Moon Shockwave leader class. So that's fantastic. That's absolutely great. And here's another one. Tra-Gen Studio Series Voyager class TF7, aka Rise of the Beast, Optimus Prime. No longer a buzzworthy Bumblebee Studio Series exclusive with Target and super scalped in the secondary market. Fans will get another chance to pick this up. It seems like Hasbro is listening. They're actually listening to some of these big secondary market items. They just need the time to hear it and then make the necessary adjustments to then have it done in factories. And it might take a year, but after that year or so, the opportunity presents itself and the reissues can happen. And these are all 2025 products, so kind of makes sense. Works out. So that works out great. People will be saving money. But we got more. We got some brand new Studio Series items to talk about. We're going to go in order by movies, and we're going to start with Dark of the Moon. And we got a Tra-Gen Studio Series Dark of the Moon TF3 Hatchet. This was the one that we found in the Target computers back in October of 2022. We've been talking about this for a while and wondering what's happening with Hatchet, what's happening with Hound. Well, now we know with both of them. We know where the Hound's going, and now we know where this Hatchet is going, a 2025 Studio Series Deluxe product. And you're going to get your opportunity then. That's all we know for now. And I don't think it's going to be a Target exclusive. At least that's what we hope. Next one here, Tra-Gen Studio Series Deluxe TF3Q. Here's another one, a.k.a. Wheeljack in some circles at some points on some packaging. But now we got a clear separation between the two characters because of the Bumblebee movie. And Q is going to be his own thing. He was called Q in the movie, so it only makes sense that that's what it should be labeled as. For the longest time, the only true movie Q figure was the rare Dark of the Moon Mech Tech Deluxe. And it only showed up in Hong Kong and China due to Dark of the Moon having low sales in the West and pretty much that last wave being canceled and reallocated to, again, China and Hong Kong. And thus, loose copies of this stupid Mech Tech figure were going for as high as $200. It's insane. There's so few of them in the secondary market as a result of that for sale. But, well, that's all going to come to an end. Any of those guys who are sitting on a loose or carded Q figure from Dark of the Moon, you probably should sell it as soon as possible before people realize that there's opportunities here to get probably a better version, which will come from Studio Series. And that, at the end of the day, with Transformer collectors, a lot of it has to do with best version. So, yeah, that's pretty great. Another case where an extremely expensive character locked behind a price wall is now going to be affordable and available in retail in the West. Let's go to Transformers 4, aka Age of Extinction, a Tra-Gen Studio Series Leader Class TF4 Optimus Prime. When I first saw this listing, I instinctively thought, oh, are we going to get our Studio Series Evasion Prime? We're going to get the flat nose one with all the rust and everything. But judging by the fact that it's a Leader Class instead of a Voyager, I think it's going to be, because it's a Leader Class, it's going to be his more tricked out truck mode that he scans later in the movie, and it's probably going to come with a big sword and shield and everything. The only kind of downer is, at that size, with all the stuff, probably won't be able to ride on top of Grimlock, at least the Studio Series one. Maybe we'll have to get that big chomp and stomp Grimlock to kind of work with it. But at the end of the day, pretty cool that we're getting yet again another design that we didn't have a Studio Series of at this moment. And speaking of obscure designs, let's talk about a continuation of the Studio Series concept art. Transformers 4, Age of Extinction, Tra-Gen Studio Series Deluxe TF4 Widowmaker. So who is Widowmaker? Concept art character. So this design was a character that initially, when the movie was kind of being planned and stuff, the character of Widowmaker was supposed to be the character that ultimately in the end was replaced with Stinger. It was supposed to be the rival character to Bumblebee that was going to be the red Pagani Huayra car. And of course, in the end, Stinger was what it ended up becoming, the red rival to Bumblebee, and Widowmaker was left on the cutting room floor. But we have all of these designs from two different artists, and they're going to probably take these two and figure something out and make it turn into the Huayra. And we get a Fembot Decepticon added to the Decepticon movie Empire. So that's pretty cool. Another concept art. It really shows how deep probably Hasbro could go with this concept art studio series subline and some crazy ideas that could show up. There's probably a lot of stuff we're not even thinking about that could be made into one. I'm still waiting for my bus transformer, so hopefully we'll get that one at some point. He was cut from the movie. Anything is possible now. Next up is Bumblebee movie stuff. We only have one listing here, and it's a Tra-Gen Studio Series Deluxe MV6 Bumblebee. Now, I don't know which Bumblebee movie figure this could be because we pretty much covered everything with Bumblebee. I mean, Bumblebee movie pretty much debuted with Studio Series and got everything done. The B127 got done, the Jeep version, the old Volkswagen, the old Camaro, rusted version, not rusted version, souped up garage kit versions, San Diego Comic-Cons, all kinds of different exclusive repaints. Which version would it be? I mean, the only thing I could speculate is maybe they'll take the B127 and give it the normal face instead of the battle mask, or do battle masks on the other versions just to put out another Bumblebee in a line. I don't know. That's kind of an open-ended one. Let me know what you think, but this is confusing because pretty much everything's been covered. Let's get into Rise of the Beast now with Studio Series. This one we've all been waiting for, and we knew it was going to happen. Tra-Gen Studio Series Leader Class TF7 Ape Link. They're going to probably take that Leader Class Optimus Primal. They're going to retool it like crazy. They're going to give him the arm blades, and they're going to make him awesome. And we're finally going to get to see that robot mode. So we're going to get some cool resculpted brand new robot mode face that looks different from Primals. How is it going to look? What is it going to be homaging? I don't know, but I love Ape Links. He's one of those obscure characters from BotCon history that just always made a nice touch. And we'll see what happens with that. We got a Tra-Gen Studio Series Deluxe Class TF7 Double Punch. This is continuing the tradition of Scorponok repaints. We had our Deluxe Class Rise of the Beast Studio Series Scorponok already. The red one is supposed to be Sandstorm. The blue one is supposed to be Double Punch. So at least according to art from the movie and everything. So this is probably going to be the blue repaint of the Studio Series Scorponok. So stay tuned on that. Let's get into Gamer Edition stuff. So we got Studio Series, Tra-Gen Studio Series Voyager Class War for Cybertron Ironhide. I mean, based off of the animation model, no doubt. Pretty hype stuff. We'll probably see a Ratchet at some point later on too in a repaint retool. No surprises there. Not much I could really say, except if you want to know what it probably looks like, go find that animation model. Here's one that we probably don't really know what it's going to be, but you could use your imagination. A Tra-Gen Studio Series Deluxe War for Cybertron Autobots Soldier could be a repaint retool of Sideswipe, maybe the Barricade. That's one of two possibilities. We'll see what happens with that. I'm pretty sure I might be missing something here. And then, of course, the two other Seekers to join Starscream. We got the Voyager of Skywarp and Thundercracker as listings with Studio Series War for Cybertron. Obviously, straight up repaint of Starscream, the War for Cybertron. Maybe they'll give him a new weapon just to mix it up a bit. Maybe a different face sculpt of a smirk or a grin or a sneer. But no surprise with those ones for 2025. And then here comes some big ones. First, we're going to start with Transformers Generations Studio Series 86 Devastator stuff. So for 2025, it would be technically the 40th anniversary of the release of the original Devastator toy in 1985. And to celebrate that, Studio Series is going to be doing Devastator in the Studio Series line. Now, what's interesting is we have two deluxes of Bone Crusher and Scavenger, two Voyagers in Scrapper and Mixmaster, and we don't know where Long Haul and Hook will be yet. But here's what's interesting. Bone Crusher and Scavenger, they're the deluxes. Those make the arms. The legs are going to be Voyagers in Scrapper and Mixmaster. So what will the core torso pieces that make up of Hook and Long Haul be? Are those also going to be Voyagers? So it puts it at this point that it's probably not going to be as big as the Titan class, but will it be as complex? Because the Titan classes were big, bulky Voyager class figures pretty much at the end of the day. So is this going to be better than the Titan class in terms of engineering? Maybe, because of its individuality. Is it going to be bigger and better? That might be debatable. But those are some items that will be available, and it means that our next combiner will be Devastator. And then we have here as an odd item, a Tra-Gen Studio Series A-level Deluxe Dev Optimus Prime. My assumption with this, the Dev part, is it might be a Gamer Edition item. It might be Dev for Devastation, which was, that great 2015 Platinum Games Transformer game. And if it's a deluxe class Optimus, maybe it's just a standalone Optimus Prime G1 figure, give it some cell shading to look like the Devastation version. That's just my take. I could totally be wrong. This Dev might be related to the Devastator. Then again, maybe this Devastator also might be tied to the Gamer Edition version. Might be related to Devastation and Devastator being in it. Who knows, but we will see. And the very last stuff of this long-winded, thank you for staying with me, of all the listings here, we have some Transformer 1, the animated movie. We got the very first one here, and it is that of a TF1 B127, aka Bumblebee before he was Bumblebee. So we're going to get some figure of him as a deluxe class. We have a deluxe class Starscream, again, that early probably scientist Starscream from the TF1 movie. And then we got a Voyager class Sentinel Prime, Optimus's buddy. So that's all we got in that, but at least we know what's happening with those. The product numbers do not match up with the previous TF1 stuff that we've gotten up to this point, so we have not been able to decode the names yet because they had a whole bunch of wacky names, but we'll keep you posted when we figure that out more. And that's it, more or less, for all the listings and that Cheetor that we got to look at for the first time today. Let me know what you think about all of this. A lot of crazy stuff to break down to make sense of it. I know people are going to be definitely blowing it up in the comments. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you very soon here on the Transformer Slag podcast, and thank you for listening.